Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is the first day of spoiler seasons for the next set of Duelists. So, we don't have a name for this set, so we'll just call it Expansion X. So, Expansion X, hopefully we will get a name soon. But yeah, we got 3 new cards today to talk about. We're going to be doing this probably every single day, which means my streaming's probably going to go down just a tad bit. Why spoiler season's going on, so just be prepared for that if you watch me on Twitch. It's just kind of hard to really do both at the same time. But yeah, so also something very interesting with this expansion is the rotation of sets, which is something we've never seen in. If you guys did not know, the Shimzar set is getting rotated out. So as we go through and talk about some of these cards, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here through our collection here. I should have every card unlocked, so I don't need to go to crafting, or I should have most of them. And we're just going to talk about certain cards getting rotated out from the Shimzar set, so we know what we're going to see and what we're not going to see. So, let's talk about our very first card. Our very first card is a Songai card they released today. Songai Legendary, and let's start with this mana cost. Is a 4 mana. This is Massacre Artist. He's a 2/5 with Backstab 2, and after this minion attacks and backstabs, all attacks are backstabs this turn. Now, first things first, let's go over here, as I said before, and let's pull up the Shimzar cards for Songai, and then let's talk about this guy. He's pretty interesting. So, this guy is a pretty cool card. Now, this guy allows you to put in a ton of damage. He's basically a boulder breacher for Songai, which is pretty cool. Because everything that you have on the board at that turn is just not going to take any damage, which is awesome. So, yes. Basically, after you get a successful hit with this guy off, it has to be a backstab. And once you backstab something, any position that you attack from with any other minion on board is going to count as backstab. So that's awesome. You can attack them right in the front, right in the side, wherever is going to be backstab damage. Now, your backstab, your minions with backstab, like Katara, for instance, even though it's getting rotated out, that's one card that we can talk about. Katara has backstab 3, so it would still get that backstab 3 even if it hit them from the front. But cards like Ace, for example, which doesn't have backstab, will still only do 1 damage from, you know, any position. So keep that in mind with this card. Now, this card combos with some 2 cards in Songai, which is Inner Focus and Assassination's Protocol. 2 cards that are not getting rotated. So be on the lookout for that. I think Big High is going to be something that we're going to see this expansion. I think that's just such a cool deck. I'm so excited to see Kalios on ladder, because this thing's going to enable Kalios to do some pretty sweet things. And I like that it's 4 mana. I like that they're, you know, 4 mana is a really good spot for Songai, because Songai has some pretty good cards overall for 4 mana, but like their sweet spot is 3 mana. That's where all their sweet cards are. The cards that everyone has trouble cutting and stuff like that. So this card fits right in. And even in Big High, it fits in on curve perfect, because you can play this guy, and then like next turn you can play some big dudes or some, you know, something like that. You can even get some big dudes before that. So yeah, really like this card. And let me find out some other things that I wrote about them. Obviously, one card that does get buffed with this is Obscuring Blow. And what Obscuring Blow does, I think it gives something backstab 2. Yeah, give a friendly minion or general backstab 2. So this card with Obscuring Blow, and throw an Obscuring Blow on anything in your deck, and you're going to be putting in massive amounts of damage, which is pretty dope. I'm just super excited for this guy. He's going to enable the backstab deck to come back alive again. Now, with this deck card coming, obviously there is going to be some Songai rotating, and let's go over the Songai rotating stuff, so we know. We're gonna take them off real quick. I typed in Songai. What am I doing with my life? Shimzar. We're gonna type in Shimzar here and see what's getting rotated. That's really gonna affect that card, and you know, everything it does. First off, Katara, man. Katara's been a staple in Songai since it's been introduced back in Shimzar, and unfortunately we are losing it, but we do have things like Scroll Bandit. Even though Scroll Bandit is 2 mana, it still has backstab and has a super relevant ability to get that backstab, which is awesome too. Think about that. Now that you have Massacre on board, you hit, you get that backstab, and now Scroll Bandit can just hit something in the front now and still steal a copy of your opponent's cards from their deck. Awesome. Freaking awesome. Anyway, so I'm so excited for this card. I can't wait to make and it's sad that I'm saying this because normally I'm not a Songhai player, but I'm really excited to make a deck with this card. But anyways, yeah, so we're losing Katara, which is pretty sad. One card that I would have loved to see in this kind of backstab deck, and I kind of hope to try this in a ranked ladder. I'm sure they're going to have one because they're not going to have all these Shimzar cards in here that we can't ever use ever again. Is Shadow Waltz, which is a card that I don't think I once saw play on ladder in the past, year and a half that Shimzar has been out. But I think with this new card and how powerful it is, this card maybe would have saw some play. Which is nuts because if you think about it, if you're playing like this big high deck, you can get your, your artist on board earlier and give it buffed, and get it out a little bit more buffed, which is pretty cool. And then with that buff, you can still play Inner Focus and Assassination's Protocol. You can play on it anytime, but you can still Inner Focus it, which is important. But anyways, keep looking. Don't really care about Crimson Coil, Mirror Meld as well. Onyx Jaguar kind of sucks that we're losing, definitely with Backstab. Onyx Jaguar, we saw a lot in Backstab decks. Bigger Backstab hits is always big. Battle Panda's a really big loss. But anyways, Backstab specific stuff, Katara, Shadow Waltz, Katara the big loss there. But yeah, that is Massacre Artist. I hope you guys enjoyed him. I'm really excited to bring you guys some decks with this card. I'm sure there's a ton of other combos that I'm not going to think about or hit. I just want to talk about the basics of the card. Like I said, I think it'll perform fine. Let's just go through Songhai real quick and look at the 4 mana cards that they have. Like I said, I don't think Songhai really has anything 4 mana that you're going to be playing in Backstab. Flame Wreath obviously is a staple in Kalios. You're going to be playing that, but obviously you're going to be playing more than one 4 mana card, and that's about it. That's about it. Flame Wreath, that's it. And maybe Cobra Strikes if you're playing those, but I doubt it. You're probably playing OBS. So yeah, definitely this card's definitely going to be a staple, 100%. Let's move on to our next card. By the way, we do have 3 cards. I don't know if I said that. Our next card is a card that's actually 2 cards. Now, this is a Vaynar card. This is Cloud Caller. This is Cloud Caller's card. It's kind of like a Raka, whatever his name is, the guy who gives you the 0/1 boulder. Anyway, so this is Cloud Caller. This is a 5 mana 4/5 minion with Opening Gambit. Your Bloodbound spell refreshes and is Lesser Water Ball this turn. Okay, first off, your Bloodbound spell refreshes. What? That's awesome. So we're probably, I can almost tell you that we're probably going to see a full rotation of these. I'm calling it now before we see the rest of the set. We're going to see a full rotation of your Bloodbound spell refreshes. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Basically, it says, how can you make your Helena BBS useful? So this card's just cool, man. And then, obviously, the Lesser Water Ball, I didn't even talk about it. It's a 1 mana spell, which is deal 4 damage to an enemy minion. Basically, this card is a Vaynar Lava Slasher, which is pretty interesting. So, talking about the card here, obviously, it has great synergies with Cryptographer, has great synergies with Bloodbound Mentor, as those two allow you to enable this thing over and over and over and over again. Even when you drop this thing, it just refreshes your BBS, which is awesome. And you can just constantly clear the board. So maybe we might see this card in either a ramp Vaynar deck, to where you're playing, Crystal Wisp, mana, mana Death Grips, and you're just trying to get this thing out as quick as possible and trying to ramp into some other big threats. And, even in Faye, if you're running Faye, you may want to keep your BBS because her BBS is just so powerful. Or maybe you'd rather have this and just, 4 damage to anything your opponent plays, which is pretty nuts. Granted, Vaynar does have very cheap removal, so people might not even want to run this because you can go, hey, why do I want to run this card? One, the Water Ball doesn't hit General, which is really, really good. It would be broken if it did. It doesn't hit General, which Faye's BBS does. And then why would you want to run this over some other removal like Aspect of the Fox. Aspect of Shimzar is luckily getting rotated out. Super happy about that. But, you know, Vanar has quite a few other removal spells as well. So, maybe we'll see this card. Maybe we won't. I think we definitely probably will in some decks. I don't know if we're going to see it more in Control or more in Ramp. That's what I'm kind of concerned about right now, is where we're at on the ladder this is going to be. Also, you got to keep in mind, any card that does give you immediate impact, like this card does, is going to be probably played. So definitely expect this thing on ladder. This is not a card that you're definitely just not going to see on ladder. Anything that gives you immediate impact on board's always going to be seen on ladder. But other than that, man, obviously, like I said, besides the obvious that this thing works with Bloodbound Mentor and Cryptographer, we'll see what deck it fits in. It's either going to be Ramp or it's going to be Control. We'll see with that. But anyways, let's move on to our next card. Sorry I don't have a lot to talk about Vanar. I don't ever play Songhai or Vanar, and I keep calling it Vanar when I used to call it Vanar. But regardlessly, so be it. Alright, our next card is Rekindling Phoenix. Oops, sorry, wrong game. Our next card is Kanum Ka. Anyway, I think that's his name. We're just going to call him Ka. Kind of reminds me of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Phoenix from back in the day, or the Yu-Gi-Oh! Guy, whatever his name was. Obviously, it reminds me of Rekindling Phoenix from MTG. But yeah, this card's pretty freaking sweet. I don't know if this card's going to be super broken or not, but let's talk about it. So this guy is a 5-mana, 3/3 Dervish, and keep that in mind. Dervish is something people are overlooked on this card. That's a tribe type. Anything that's tribal like that is going to be good. It has Flying Rush, which is something we've never seen. Flying and Rush is pretty stupid, so that thing can get anywhere on the board once it's played, which is nuts. And it has Dying Wish. A random friendly Dervish disappears, summoning a Ka in its place. So, this is how this card works for those of you who were confused about it. You play this guy, you go trade into something, you have one other Dervish on the board from, you know, an Obelisk or something, and now that 2/2 Wind Dervish that just was going to disappear at the end of the turn, now turns into this, which is pretty sweet. So this card's going to, like, require a bit of removal. This is a card that you're going to have to remove, or you're just going to get punched all game by it. And no one wants to get punched all game by this thing, because it's absolutely stupid. Probably one of the dumbest cards that I've seen in a while, besides Thunderhorn, which is the dumbest. But this card's great. Something else with this card is, as I mentioned earlier, it's a Dervish itself, which is tribal. And what's important about tribal is that this card works with tribal related things, like, oops, I typed in tribal. A lot of people are talking about, oh, Cataclysm Fault. Like, yeah, this guy would be good with Cataclysm Fault, which is because anytime this guy dies and you summon a Ka, you know, like, you're always gonna have a Ka because you're gonna have a row full of Dervishes, which is stupid. Like, Vath is never gonna deal with this card ever. Obviously, there's Trigon, and what's nice about Trigon now is Trigon, you go from Trigon into this, which is stupid. Absolutely stupid. So keep that in mind as well. That's a great combo. But anyway, so we typed in Dervish here. We got a few things that pop out Dervishes, but oh, I forget the card. There's that neutral card. We might see this being played, and that's just because it puts in more damage. I think he's 4 mana. Alright, there's that neutral guy who gives tribal minions +1/+1. This guy might see a more interest now that there's a flyer with Rush, so we might see that guy played a little bit more. Oh, something I didn't do last card, which I told you guys I wanted to do every card, was talk about the rotation of them. So we're going to move on and talk about the cards getting rotated that's going to help this card a lot. So the first card that would help this card a lot that's getting rotated is Ray, and that's because Cataclysm and Fault. Fault is really good with this card. Like, just think about it. You know, you play your Ray, you get your Fault started, and once you get it started, it's done. Because the problem is the turn you play Fault and you don't have a follow-up, you're getting beat down in your face, there's nothing you can do. You just played your whole turn, you know, playing a spell. That's it. That's why Fault is only good with Ray most of the time. So the fact that Ray's getting rotated out might hurt the chance of Fault actually being played with Ka, but we'll see. Whisper of the Sands. Big card getting rotated out. Definitely with the new Dervish stuff coming in. This card's a big enabler for Dervish decks. One, it gives you card draw. Two, it gives you a lot of damage. And it's pretty crazy to think that we get this great Dervish guy with this great ability, and we're losing such a great Dervish enabler. Same thing with Wind Slicer didn't see that much play, but you could play him in Obelisk. Falcius is great in every deck. Kind of sucks that we're losing him, but I'm not going to be sad to see him go, to be honest with you. Corpse Combustion. People were saying how we finally have a card that makes this card seem amazing, but it's getting rotated out, so who cares? And the rest of it's not really, you know, it's just you know, for Dervishes. But the big ones that we're losing is Whispers and Ray. For this particular card. Let me pull it back up here. So keep an eye out for this card. This card's going to be absolutely crazy. It's going to be played in a ton of decks. So far, I think the best thing that we've talked about with this card is going from a Trigon Obelisk into this, because then your Trigon spits out 3 Dervishes. You can hit some stuff, play this guy. You know, the whole thing. Just think about it. Seems good, right? Seems really good. And then, you know, right now also, you got to think, though, Vet is getting pretty good 5-drops, and they're going to have to make some cuts, man. Blood of Air is an auto 3 of in every Vet deck, and Santoral Reader has been seeing a lot of play lately. A ton of play. So maybe we won't see that many Santoral Readers with this thing's going around, but to be honest, what would you rather see, Santoral Reader or this guy? You know, sometimes I'd rather see this guy over him because I'd rather my minion not get bounced back to my hand. But anyway, regardlessly, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys leave it a thumbs up. We're going to be doing this every single day. I'm sorry it's kind of late. I didn't have a ton of time to go over all of these cards like in depth. Tomorrow I'll try to go more into them and think of some more pretty cool combos and stuff like that. But you know, the ones we got today were pretty badass. I think all of them were pretty badass. But yeah, we're gonna be doing this every day. Make sure you guys come by my stream tomorrow, because I have my streamer reveal card. I hope you guys like it. I think it's pretty spicy. I think you guys are gonna like it. But other than that, man, I'm your boy Clazo. Hope you guys keep on dueling. I'll see you guys next time.